Hello, welcome back to hopefully the fourth and last video in this particular lesson. If you would, please copy down this question 20x squared minus 45x plus 10, and let's work through that and the issues that come along with it. If you want to hit pause and try it, it's based on the previous problem. You can sure do that, but I'm just gonna keep talking. So try that on your own will. The first thing that you have to do is look for common factor. That's always now our first step in factoring. Do I have a common factor in all three of these terms? It has to be in all three terms, and I do. It's 5. So let's get that out of there first. It's going to make our life a lot easier. So I'm going to divide out a 5 from the 20, the 45, and the 10. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Don't forget the x squared. Minus 45 divided by 5 is 9x. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So there we have that. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to factor the trinomial 4x squared minus 9x plus 2. All right, so I want factors of a times c. A times c, 4 times 2 is 8. I want the factors of ac that sum to the middle term, which in this case is negative 9. All right, so let's get to work here. Work those out, and how about negative 1, negative 8? That adds up to multiplies to positive 8, adds to negative 9. There it is. Now, again, what you should start seeing the tricks here, that if I have to multiply to get a positive and I have to add to get a negative, this tells me that the signs are the same signs. I mentioned this in the last video, same signs, but it has to add to be a negative, so the same signs are both negative. So I'm not even going to mess with the positive factors of 8 in this problem. All right, now let's expand it. Remember what to do with that 5. He's just going to sit there and wait. He's going to enjoy the ride down the page. All right, 4x squared. Now 9, we have to expand out that 9. 1x minus 8x plus 2. Remember that those two terms in the middle have to add back to that middle term and multiply to be that a times c, which is what this does. All right, let's keep going here. All right, let's keep that 5 there. Now I'm going to go to a bracket now because I want to factor out the common term between these two terms and these two terms. All right, well let's do the first one. So I'm breaking this up again into two binomials, and this has a common factor of x. So I'm going to take out the factor of x there. 4x squared divided by x is 4x minus 1x divided by x is 1. Okay, what I should do before I go on, I should have done this earlier, and hopefully you did, change that to addition. Right, that doesn't matter there, and it makes your life a lot easier. And that's the real important one, that you change that 8 to addition as well. When I change that to addition, remember this sign comes down here, plus just work down your page. Now, here's the problem. I'm looking to match this 4x plus negative 1 binomial, but since that 8 is negative, I'm going to take out a negative factor, and in this case it's 2. So I'm going to take out a negative 2 and divide negative 8 divided by negative 2. That's positive 4x. See how it matched? 2 divided by negative 2, that's negative 1. And there's my matching binomial that I will now divide out, because it is a common factor between this term and this term. It's 4x minus 1. All right, that then will cancel out these two terms right here. Again, don't forget the 5. He's still a factor, and he's got to stay in there. Common factor, I'll put it here. And then you're left with x plus negative 2. Or you could just say x minus 2. And that's the answer right there. You should check it. I'm not going to, just to save some video time, but if you multiply the binomials and the 5, you'll end up with that same amount that you started with. So again, that is factored form of that trinomial 20x squared minus 45x plus 10. All right, so let's try one more here, and I'm going to have you stop the video and try it. It's basically the same as the other questions. You might or might not have to factor out that negative factor, kind of depending on how you set it up on this one. But why don't you hit pause here, take a couple minutes and see what you can do, and then come right back and I'll talk you through it. Okay, hopefully you have done that problem and worked it out, and let me talk you through it here. First thing you should have done is found that common factor of 2. 12, 46 and 8, common factor of 2, so I take that out. I get 6x squared minus 23x minus 4. Okay, then the next step you do, you take the factors of a times c. Now again, we're only looking at the trinomial here. 6 times negative 4, that's negative 24. That's a negative factor there that you have to have. Then have to add to negative 23, and there it is. I found it in the first try. Did you? Negative 24 plus 1 is negative 23. Negative 24 times 1 is negative 24. So there you've got it. So don't forget the 2 again. 2 stays there. We expanded the negative 23 into negative 24x plus 1x. Now, if you put the 1x on the front and the minus 24x, you can still do it. You would just have to, it would just look a little differently, and your binomial factors would just be switched from mine, but you would still have the same things. All right, so now you're looking for that to factor those two binomial terms by splitting them up. And this first set has a common factor of 6x, so I took it out right there. The second one, I don't really have anything to do. I just put it x minus 4 because there's no common factor there. And I have my matching x minus 4 factor. So I divide out the x minus 4, and let's watch what happens. The 2 will stay on front. It's right there. The x minus 4 is the factor. Now notice I had 6 plus, remember the number that's there? 1. 6 plus 1 there. And this was the answer. 2 times the quantity, x minus 4, times the quantity, 6x plus 1. That is our factored form of 12x squared minus 4x minus 8. So you see in this section what we do, I had warned you when that a coefficient changes from 1, our problems get a little more difficult because of all the more combinations that we have to deal with. So you're going to have to be able to do this. So, and the only way to do it is to work it and work it and work it. So that's what I'm going to be asking you to do the next couple of days. All right, bring those notes to class for next time I see you, and we will get it done.